And you put that picture in your mind, and it just comes out naturally.
I never met Kenny until the day. In fact, before the interview started, it's the first time we really got to talk. But can you tell he just talks and he relives? It's not a prepared speech where he gets up and he has to say things. No, this guy's a master. I mean, a true master. Table topics question number 2. This is from Diane Wingenlin, District 6 Director. No better person in the country, I think. She's just fantastic. I'm in one of her clubs, UML 330. This is from Diane. Aside from providing a platform from competition, how has your participation in Toastmasters benefited you?
Well, it goes back to what I said before, and it started in 2006 for me when I first joined Toastmasters. I had actually started speaking where I was getting paid to speak, albeit very little at the time, but I came to Toastmasters to hone my skills, to get those evaluations, to get that constructive criticism so that I can move forward in something that I had a passion for. So when I started to come to my Toastmasters clubs, what I did was start to realize, hey, this is really working. It's really helping to get the critique. Now, when you get critique, if you don't do anything about it, it won't help you.
Yeah.
But if you take and use the hints and the helpful notes that people give you, you will progress. I guarantee it. Even if by accident, you will progress. And so that was what has helped me. And also from the leadership point of view as well, I have not delved that much into that portion of it because I've been so concentrated on the speaking portion from a competitive standpoint that I haven't dealt with the leadership portion, but I am working on my leadership manual now as well. But that, beyond the competition, that's what has really helped me in Toastmasters, is to be able to receive that constructive criticism, take it, and incorporate it in future speeches, because it really helps. You have some fantastic people in Toastmasters. You have lawyers, doctors, you have people that have written several books, and you can learn from them. And this is what I'm doing. I'm gleaming from everybody that I can. And if it's somewhere along the line I can be of a help or a mentor to somebody, I do the same.
They have Toastmasters programs in prisons. It's amazing. They have Toastmasters programs for youngsters. I think it's one of the greatest organizations ever. One thing we don't know about Kenny, we've talked about Toastmasters. Look how sharp he is. You have a wardrobe. I'm telling you, I'm amazed. And this is a profession, right?
Absolutely. My profession, when I came out of the accounting industry, which was something that catapulted me professionally where I wanted to be in terms of getting my home situated, my house and all of that. I mean, my car and you know, all the things that one starts out with and want to have. It was accounting for me, but I ended up absolutely hating accounting. So I went back on something that I learned from my mother's boutique. She started a boutique back in Louisiana, a small one, but I learned salesmanship from my mom. And so I fell back on what I knew, and that was the clothing business. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get out of accounting, and this is no slights to anybody that's in finance or accounting. It's a wonderful area. It just wasn't for me. So I fell back on the clothing industry, and I have took off ever since. Taken off ever since because of the fact that I was into clothing. That's where the speaking part came out of, because I would be asked to do Dress for Success seminars for various organizations, and it got to where some parents were in that particular audience, and they said, hey, can you come over and do that for my school? Can you come over and teach them to dress like prospects rather than suspects? And so I said, sure, I will. And I got in there, and they said, man, you know, you sound like a motivational speaker. Have you ever considered being a motivational speaker? And voila, my career was born in speaking. So they come in tandem sometime. I remember I did a Dress for Success first impression seminar for Ameriprise International. And so it is something that I love, the clothing business. I really love the clothing business, but somebody asked me one time, They said, if you had a choice, somebody had a gun up to your head and says, which one would you take, clothing or the speaking? And I said, you know, that's a hands down. It would be speaking. I love speaking, it's my passion. I consider clothing as my career, but speaking is my passion.
Yeah, your clients include some of the Vikings and other athletes?
Oh man, I could go down a list of clients that I've been privileged to have. And to be with me, let me just make this statement. You don't have to be a professional athlete. I've had billionaires. You don't have to be a billionaire. You can be the average Joe or Mary walking down the street that want to improve your image, and I'll certainly work with you. But I have over years been privileged to have some of the best people in the Twin Cities to be clients of mine. And I don't think we need to get into specifics, but yes, and if I call out names, you would all know them. All know them. So,
Toastmasters, how do you get involved? How do you go to a Toastmasters meeting, and do they charge for the first or second meeting you go to?
Well, with Toastmasters, when I first sought to do it, I didn't go to anybody that was in Toastmasters. What I did was I looked it up. In the age of technology, all you have to do is Google it. And you'll get the clubs that's in and around your area. I think in the state of Minnesota, we have, if I'm not mistaken, over 5,000 different clubs. And you Google them up, you may have 10 clubs within a 1 mile, 2 mile radius of you. And that's what happened to me. And I went to the one, well, actually, I went to visit 4 different clubs. And you can go to a club 2 or 3 times and you don't have to pay anything but attention. And so when I went to my first one, it so happened that was the one, Super Speakers in Eden Prairie, that I joined, and I ended up staying there 7 years until working obligations caused me to have to change clubs. But you can go and you can visit, fill the organization out. In every club you have different dynamics. We all go by pretty much the same agenda, but it's different dynamics based on the people attending, and you get people from all over the world attending. So you'll feel comfortable, and you'll know when it happens. You visit a few, you'll know when it happens.
I worked at Channel 5 KSTP for 17 years. I retired. I was on Meetup trying to find something to do. I was trying to find laughter yoga. And I ran across Humor Mill Toastmasters.
Yeah. I
I had no clue what it was. I started out, oh my first speech, icebreaker, it was horrendous. Oh, I was so upset. But I came back and came back. It's like a quarterback being sacked. Once he's sacked, he gets back up.
Absolutely.
And that has been the case. I was ready to quit that night, but I didn't quit. Became friends with the people. And that's the thing about Toastmasters. These are people you get to know. I mean, I went on Meetup and I joined Toastmasters because it's cheaper than therapy.
Oh, absolutely.
And I really, really enjoyed it. It changed my life. It really has, and I've been able to compete. It's fun. It's not hard, it's fun. And you learn not only from the good speeches, but from the bad speeches. And you can help people. I think that's the key.
Absolutely. And you mentioned cost. This is, and I've spent a lot of money on personal growth and development with various speakers, various books and seminars. This is one of the most economical places you can come for personal growth and development. It's less than $100 a year. And I tell you what, it's the best money that I've spent anytime ever.
How long does a Toastmasters meeting last?
The typical Toastmasters meeting lasts 1 hour. If you're coming every week, they last 1 hour. Now, it may vary. If you meet once a month, you may come in 90 minutes. If you meet every other week, which is bi-monthly, it may vary. But on average, Toastmasters meeting lasts only 1 hour. But we put a lot of substance in that 1 hour. You get a lot out of that 1 hour.
There are a lot of celebrities in Toastmasters. I worked for NFL Films for close to 25 years. I was a sideline photographer, and I got to pick who I took with me. And one game, I took actor Tim Allen. We had a blast. He had me laughing so hard, I said, don't tell anybody jokes because this camera's going to shake. He was fantastic. He came out to the house and met the family. And he gave me a Toastmasters magazine because he was a member of Toastmasters. And there are a lot of celebrities that are. I mean, this is something for everybody, really.
Absolutely, it is. Everybody can learn from this. You have a lot of anchors that have gone through Toastmasters. You have a lot of athletes that making, horrendous dollars, but then when they're done with their profession, they want to do something else, and a lot of them go into broadcasting or go into motivational speaking, but they want to do just what I did. They want to be able to hone their skills, and they come to Toastmasters, and they get exactly what everybody else get, and that's the beauty of Toastmasters. It's non-discriminatory. You can come from any background and settle right into Toastmasters and learn so much.
And another key is training. We just had a training a couple weeks ago. Fantastic. Hundreds of people that were there and some of the best speakers, including a world champion of public speaking, Lance Miller, who did 2-hour-long speeches. So you will learn. You will grow. Kenny, let's start to wrap this up. How excited are you? Are you nervous or excited? I remember I did the championship for hockey, where the University of Minnesota played Buffalo for the national championship. It was in Buffalo. And after breakfast one morning, I pushed the elevator button and it opened up and there was the whole team. And I said, "Hey guys, are you nervous?" And the captain, Grant Patolny, said, "No, we're not nervous. We're excited."
Yes.
And they won the national championship that night. Are you excited or nervous as you prepare for the biggest day of your life? I hope.
Absolutely. The nerves part, thanks to Toastmasters, has dissipated, but here's the key. You always get that anxiety, and it's just the adrenaline surging through you that I just can't wait to get on that stage. And just like a professional football player, they're not nervous, but there's anxiety going. But guess what? When that player get that first contact, it all dissipates. And that's the same thing with me as a speaker. When I first start to flow those words out of my mouth, then it's all uphill from there. It's really just the adrenaline flowing. It's not so much nervousness as it is that adrenaline going. And as they always say, even if I was nervous and it was fluttering in my stomach, we used to teach those butterflies to fly in formation. So I've learned how to do that along the way, and a little anxiousness is good for you. You don't want to get to the point where you're complacent, you're in a comfort zone, because it keeps you up on your toes.
Table topics question number 3 to end the program. If your family isn't first, it's last. Where do you rate your family to what you do as work and what you do as everything else?
Well, I've learned over the years, and my mother has taught me, and it just flows with me. My maker and creator is first, and then comes my family, and then comes everything else I aspire to. So they're right there with the best.
All I ask you one question. When you win August 20th, will you come back and do an interview?
Man, when I win, I'll do several interviews here and all over the world for you if you'd like. Yes, indeed. I look forward to it. That's one of the things with Toastmasters, is that when you win the World Championship of Public Speaking, you're not allowed to compete in any level, but as David Brooks, the 1990 World Championship speaker, says, then I get the chance to teach. And that's what I really want to do. I want to get out here and let the horses loose and teach what I've learned. And I have a lot to teach.
And the winners of the Toastmasters World Championship not only speak in Minnesota or New York, they go all over the world. You are prepared. You are fantastic. You're a terrific interview, and I wish you all the luck. Hey, this guy's from Eden Prairie. Come on, we got to cheer for him. I certainly am. Kenny Ray, you're a great interview.
Thank you, John. I appreciate you.
You bet. I'm John Gross. Thanks for watching. Good job, my man.
All right, man.
It's been gone an hour. I don't know how long we went.
30 minutes. Probably 30.
30 minutes.
Really?